Hi, everybody. It's Gene Simmons, and you're not, and you're listening to the Potter Than Hell podcast with Steve, BC, BB, and Dylan. But you knew that, didn't you?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Potter Than Hell podcast. This is your last stop on the crazy train of hard rock and heavy metal. So sit back, buckle in, and hang on. Here we go. Hello, you Potter Than Hellians. Welcome back to the Potter Than Hell podcast. I am Dylan, your host for this evening, and I am joined, as always, by
BC,
as well as
BB,
and only for the beginning, we're also joined by
Steve.
Yeah, he's back from the cruise. We were going to record this episode without him, and we kind of still are, but we figured we would give him a little bit of break. He's still pretty hammered up from the cruise, and he's got a sore throat. Yeah, boat lagged and jet lagged.
You got vertigo over there. He's swaying back and forth.
And we're going to have a nice wrap up with you. The wrap up will come out before this episode.
Last week.
So I was going to ask you to give a teaser, but we don't need to do that since they'll have heard that episode before this one.
Yeah.
So, but just so you know, this is being recorded after that or before that. Time is
coming out
an illusion. Yeah.
after.
But thank you for listening. I'm running the ship this week because we had planned this podcast episode to do without my dad, and it's kind of a little themed around something that he doesn't know yet. He'll only know when the episode comes out. But before we get to that, we could talk about what we're listening to. BB, do you have anything that you've been checking out lately?
Yeah, it's funny, and I can't reveal anything yet, but I have been going back to the recent Dio stuff and working my way backwards in the catalog. So that is a reason why there are some songs of that man's on something to do with this podcast.
I was gonna ask you about that actually. So now that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I went back because those later ones that you kind of forget about that are just rocking. So I've been Dioing it.
Yeah. That's awesome. Dad, what have you been listening to on the cruise?
Since you guys would have already heard it, you'll know that I just totally binged on Night Ranger, saw them twice, Queensryche, saw them 3 times, and so I just downloaded the Queensryche albums and stuff and Night Ranger for my flight back, which was yesterday. Just been binging on Queensryche. Kiss Cruise was great. You guys will know how I felt about it there, but since then I've been binging on Queensryche. Fucking amazing.
Sound a little hoarse.
Oh yeah. I actually sound a lot better than I did this morning.
Yeah, Sebastian Bach couldn't make the cruise, so they brought Steve up to sing his set. So it was.
Shut the fuck up.
I sang every song with every band, but not in
They didn't mic him.
Thank God.
He had a project.
Would have been jumping off the sides.
That was very bad. Very bad. Very bad.
That would have been me.
BC, what have you been listening to?
I've been surfing a lot of new bands I'm going to keep on a lip for future reference, but I keep going back to the new KK Priest. I'm really digging it. When I first heard it, I'm like, but after getting it and really listening to it,
guitar work is fantastic.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I love the instrumental for that album for sure. I've been listening to the new Black Veil Brides album, The Phantom Tomorrow. It's actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I like them. They're not like a band that I'm always going to go to because the lead vocals are always like they're a little off-putting for me, but I do like this album. The instrumental parts, just like KK's Priest, really good. There's some good solos in it. It's a little bit of a different album for them. There's some cool stuff in there that I really enjoyed. It's a fun album to have on in the background for sure. So what we've been listening to, I've been listening to Black Veil Brides, The Phantom Tomorrow. BC has been listening to, oh my God, I already forgot.
Priest.
KK Priest, yeah. I literally just mentioned it the last episode.
He's channeling me.
Yeah. Steve has been listening to Queensryche after seeing them 3 times on the cruise, and BB has been listening to Dio. He's been starting from the most recent and then working his way back. So, without further ado, we're going to kick my dad out of the room. He's going to be sequestered.
Okay, rock on. Give me a couple seconds to put my Dylan canceling headphones on.
Yeah, we're going to make sure that he can't hear the the results of the final part of Family Feud, where we do the name something that that can't hear or see what's going on.
Yes.
Okay, so this week we decided to do something to honor my dad since he was gone away on the ship. We decided to do a playlist episode where we pick 10 songs total, and the episode title and the theming is 1 If by Land, 2 If by Sea. So 5 of our songs are about land or rock or the world. It was a little tougher to do land songs, and then 5 of our songs are about the ocean, the sea, water, things like that. Before we get into our list, how was it for you guys picking these songs? Because I definitely struggled more with the land aspect than the sea aspect. What did you think, BC?
I was the same boat as you. I mean, the sea ones.
You said boat.
Very good, very good.
And then all of a sudden, land, I'm like, and then you're like, you can use this. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I was reaching a little bit for those. The sea ones, I had more. I could do another 2 episodes of that, but.
Yeah, it seems like rock and heavy metal really like talking about the ocean. What did you think, BB?
It's funny. There are a lot of songs out there called "The Promised Land."
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And you may hear maybe one of those later down the road, and maybe a hidden gem of sort. But yeah, it was tough, but it was also fun because you're like, ooh, I wonder if this band has a song super deep that's really, really good that you haven't heard since 1988.
Yeah.
But this was a really cool topic. Great idea. I love the thing of kind of tying it in with Steve, and I think this is going to be a fun episode.
Yeah, absolutely. Without further ado, we'll get into it. So what we'll do is the first half we'll each talk about our land songs, and then the second half we'll talk about our sea songs. Since there's 3 of us, we want to be able to split all of our lists evenly. We'd have to King Solomon somebody to be like, okay, you're going to do first half this, but it's easier just to do the land songs. So I'll start us out this one just to give us a little bit of a thing. With picking my songs, I was at first going through just my Apple Music, being like, okay, does this artist have something that would be remotely close? No, okay, let's go to the next artist. And kind of going from there. And then I thought, let's type into the search bar the keywords like land, valley, rock, try and come up with something that goes from there. And I also put in a few fun songs to bust my dad's balls with, as you'll see coming up. So the first song that I picked for the land side of my list, of course I had to go with Iron Maiden from their Peace of Mind album, To Tame a Land, about the book Dune, which we recently saw the movie adaptation of it, and it's fantastic, phenomenal. And this song really captures that epicness of the book, where it just has those like Middle Eastern inspired guitar riffs, and I love the dual guitar in this album. This album, and also this song. Nico's drumming is just really thunderous. There's a lot of great fills in this song, and Bruce's vocals get really cool. He's having to sing words like Muad'Dib, Gam Jabbar, Arrakis. He's having to do these mouthfuls, and he's managing to sing them pretty well. So I had to put that one on there because it's a classic. The second one from my list is from Mastodon's The Hunter album, Dry Bone Valley. And this is the Mastodon that you guys didn't get to hear with the Leviathan album because they started doing their vocals a little differently after the Leviathan album, where it's more like Alice in Chains vocals, where they have the two vocalists harmonizing, and I like that a lot because it's not as hard on the ears as the vocals used to be. But this is kind of a cool, fun Mastodon song. There's no solo, so I apologize, but it's still a really great song from Mastodon. Number 3, I went to Tesla, Bust a Nut. An album that's not often talked about for Tesla, but one that I want to talk about, Earth Mover. It's a very cool song for them. It's kind of different in terms of how the tempo is. There's some interesting drum patterns. I love the kind of groovy part towards the end of each of the verses where they do it down and like it's kind of a cool thing, and the soloing in it is ripping as well. It's just a different song for Tesla that you wouldn't really expect. My next song, my 4th song, is the song that I put into Bust My Dad, Disturbed from the 10,000 Fists album, their cover of Genesis's Land of Confusion. Of course, this is a pretty true to form cover. It's very close to the original, besides adding in their ahs.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, they had to add those in. So that, you know, you got David, whatever the lead singer's name is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you know, his voice kind of works for this. It's very similar to Phil Collins in terms of how his range works, but he has that like edge to it that Phil Collins doesn't have. But I mean, I like the Genesis version better. But this is kind of a cool version from Disturbed. I know my dad will hate it, but you know, I don't. And then my last song for the Land side is Landslide, but not the Fleetwood Mac song. The Slash's Snake Pit song from Ain't Life Grand. This was a blast from the past. You know, you always hear about Slash solo, but you don't often hear about Slash's Snake Pit anymore. The band that he had before he had, you know, Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators backing him up. Some really cool guitar work on this, of course, because it's Slash. The vocals are really different, too. If you're so used to hearing Miles Kennedy or Axl Rose sing with him, it's much gruffer, like lower vocals that I think really work for this song. And it's a bit of a longer song, but I think it's still really good. So that's my Land side of my list. What did you guys think? BB.
It's funny when To Tame a Lamb was the first song that came to my head, and then after that, I had nothing. And I'm like, somebody's going to pick that. I said either one of those two, so I'll kind of skip it. But this is a great deep track to Iron Maiden. I think we talked about the dual guitaring in this. The underlying bass from Steve Harrison in that is just so cool, and it's so out front, and you can hear it, and it's mixed great. I think they remastered it in 2015. Love him just strumming his bass strings. It's just a really good song, and like I said, I knew someone would pick it. Mm-hmm. Dirty Bone Valley. I like the vocals. The drums were crisp, and that 7 second. You said there wasn't. I think there was like a 7-second guitar solo was really
very short.
Very short. I thought the guitar work on that was a really cool. And I don't think I've ever heard that song before, so it was a surprise to me. Mm-hmm. Tesla with Earth Mover. This is Tesla. This is such an underrated album for these guys. Mm-hmm. Frank Hannon carries this song. It's just the little kick in the beginning is so cool. It's just a great. I think it sounds like an old classic Tesla song. I wish they would bring this back into the set because it's a really good song. Land of Confusion from Disturbed. Just another heavy twist on a classic Genesis song. If you guys have not heard this, you're living under a rock or something. But this was one of the most popular songs out there back when it came out. Pretty much put Disturbed on the map almost in a way. But a great song, and it's a great cover. And then Landslide by Slash's Snake Pit. I love the recognizable Slash's Gibson guitar on this. It's just so cool to hear. It has that gritty, dirty sound to this song. And it's great, like you said. Let's go back to that album. Like, I think did he release two albums?
Yeah, it was 5 O'Clock Somewhere and Ain't Life.
Those two albums are so great. And in albums like that just get lost because now there's just so much stuff coming out. And when I saw that on the list, oh my God, I haven't listened to that in such a long time. So I was very, very impressed with your first 5 Land songs, sir.
Thank you. BC, were you as impressed as BB was?
I mean, as soon as I saw your list, I'm like, I knew Maiden to Tame a Land would be gone, but like BB, I'm going to second what the bass in the song is, to me, is the standout. That's my notes here. Say the bass in the beginning and throughout the song. I mean, come on, it's a great song. I love the riff in it. You can't go wrong with Iron Maiden. Mastodon. First thing after song, Dry Bone Valley is unfamiliar. I've heard of the band. I don't think I really ever heard them. Vocally good. Musically not bad. I mean, it lured me in a little bit. So I would definitely check out more. I think you played something.
Yeah, there was
before was a little heavier, right?
Yeah. I play. I think one of my birthday albums was Leviathan, and like the vocals were definitely like a lot gruffer because they moved members that decided to do more vocals in the later albums. So
I put this on. I was expecting, like, and I was like, oh wow. So that's a surprise. Tesla, Earth Mover. To me, this has always been the underrated Tesla album. I think maybe it's just the time it came out in or whatever. I just love it. It's such a cool riff in it. They got the classic sound, background vocals. You can't go wrong with this one. Disturbed, Land of Confusion. A good cover of the original. Like you said, there's not too much too different except for a little.
Yeah.
Little dreaming. Keeps it. And Slash the Snake Pick Landslide. Volca, I love this. The guitar work throughout the song, to me, it gets your foot going. I love this album. When it first came out, I even got on vinyl. But that's a great pick so far. I love your first five.
Very well. Let's talk about your first five. What did you have for us on the land side?
This is the struggling side. But I'm going to start off with Pretty Maids from Louder Than Ever from 2004 with Wake Up to the Real World. I'm just such a fan of these guys. I just wish I can finally see them sometime live. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Times are getting weird out there. I don't know if I ever will, but the guitar tone on the song, and most of their albums, their later albums, this is a band I think that, like the Saxons, the Maidens and shit, just keep getting better. I mean, the production of the song, the opening riff, and the tone of it. I know if nobody heard it, they're probably going, I don't know what they're talking about. Check it out.
Well, that's what our Spotify playlist of the week is for.
And then just the production of the song, I think, is perfectly vocally, and it's got Ken Hammer's great solo in the song. Just good pre-made song. Check it out. Second one would be Tom Kiefer off his The Way Life Goes from 2017, Solid Ground. I mean, this is the typical. It starts off with Tom Kiefer is more bluesier than. Cinderella had some blues touch to it, but this is really into the blues world. Just the way the guitar starts off and it kicks into this heavy riff, and Tom's. I mean, some people say, "Oh, he can't sing. He can't." His vocals fit Cinderella. They fit his music. And the guitar, bluesy rocks. It has the slide guitar solo. I just love the slide guitar. And at the end, it has the backup girls sitting in the back. I can see them like dancing in little shorts. And
his wife and the other.
I know him.
Chantrell or something.
But Tom Kiefer, man. People don't like his new stuff. Well, it's not Cinderella, people.
That's right.
Get over it.
It's not Cinderella.
My third pick, I'm going to go back to 1992 with the Trickster off their Here album. Blood Rock. I mean, just like that little, guitar effect they have in the beginning. He just kicks into a totally ripping song with the bass and the drums, and Pete's vocals are spot on. This album got like dissed. I think it's the time it came out. It did match up to their debut. I'm thinking, I think it's not that the first one sucked, but this one's. They were making the step, I think, and it's just the music environment changed so much.
So it didn't live up to their debut. It exceeded their debut.
Exceeded in my book, but a lot of people say, "Oh no, it didn't do this, didn't do it." Well, it's 1992. This type of music was getting beat up. Yep. A great solo on that song, but a great album too. Fourth song, another. And for my list, I just went. I didn't know what to do, so I just went through my thing, looking at the bands I like, and going through their catalog and see if there are songs that would fit this. Exactly. So this is where Bonfire. I guess I've loved Bonfire since back in the 80s. But this is from Fistful of Fire from 2020. Glory Land. Right out of the gate, fucking rocker. It has the killer riffs, the double bass, the new vocalist. I like him. He's good. Don't get me wrong, but this guy. I mean, nobody knows Bonfire. They had such a distinct vocalist. And their first vocalist, Claude, that I didn't know how they would ever replace him. This guy's good, a younger guy. But it has the double bass throughout, the ripping solos. Can't go wrong with this. And the other one, my fifth one would be The Treatment, World on Fire. I've seen these guys. I met these guys down in Scranton probably almost 10 years back when they first came out. A straightforward rocker. The vocals that fit this music perfectly, driving guitars, some dueling solos. I mean, just straight up, no trick rock and roll. I mean, so I had to pick these. These five are all bands I stand behind.
Okay. BB, do you stand behind these
bands? I think BC did a very good job with his picks. With the Pretty Maids, Wake Up to the Real World. I love their melodic sound that Pretty Maids have. The vocals are great too. The background vocals are even better in this band. These guys don't get enough credit. Always love the Pretty Maids. Your next one, Solid Ground from Tom Kiefer. And it's almost exactly what you exactly said. I said perfectly bluesy, soulful rock. Guitars are layered perfectly as well. I love the two guitars with the slide. The female singers at the end of the song are a really cool touch. And like you said, if you're looking for Cinderella, it's not Cinderella. It's Tom Kiefer and what he likes. Your next song, Blood Rock from Twister. Trickster. Not Twister, BC. But this whole album, like you said, I think even the band, the album and the band, these guys are very underrated. I love the chorus in the song. It has great band harmonies. And once again, the solo in this song is amazing. And Trickster is such a really, really good band. Song number 4 from Bonfire, Glory Land. Fast, right out of the gate, high-pitched vocals, or at times, it almost sounds to very Michael Swedish. The guitars in there are really, really cool. I even hear a little Eddie Van Halen finger tapping in certain parts, which I thought was really, really cool. And your last song from The Treatment, World of Fire. It's a cool chugging riff to start. I find myself playing the air drums to this song. It had a really good beat. I love the couple stop and start parts in it. And the big ending with the screaming and the drums and the guitar, the way all of that faded out, I thought that was really, really cool. So good job with the land. Good job at your land stuff, BC.
You landed it.
You landed it.
Landed it at the land.
Yeah, I feel very similarly. I really liked all these songs. I think they each had something that for me was okay, yeah, definitely BC picked this. The Tom Kiefer, the scream at the... I'm like, oh, there's the BC scream that he loves so much. But yeah, I love the background vocals for Tom Kiefer. It's... And you could see why he does, with a little help from my friends, why he covers that, because he has the background vocalists to cover it. Yeah. But this is a really good bluesy rock song that you could hear a tiny bit of Cinderella with, but it's Tom Kiefer. It's really fantastic. I really did like to Wake Up in the Real World as well. I need to listen to more Pretty Maids, because everything I listen to from Pretty Maids is really good, and this is no exception.
I think they covered the bass from almost radio type songs to ballads to heavy
hard
rockers.
Yeah.
It's such an underrated band.
Well, my dad was listening to their live album that they came out with, and I was like, "Wow, this is really good. I'm really enjoying this."
30th anniversary.
Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah, I was like, "Yeah, okay, I gotta check this out."
Such an underrated
band. Trickster, Blood Rock, really great song. This is definitely one that I could tell that if it came out earlier, people would be really on board with it. But since it was mid to late 90s, it missed the mark, unfortunately. But I really liked the song. I thought it was a good addition to the playlist. Gloryland, Bonfire. I love Bonfire. They have that epicness, I always say, with Bonfire and Eclipse, where it's just that uplift. It's not symphonic, but it has that power metal feel where you're just okay, yeah, I want to go fight some dragons. We're gonna go to the Glory Land and have a great time. And then The Treatment, World on Fire, another fantastic song. I love the groove of the song. It's like BB was saying, you kind of are drumming along with it because it's got such a catchy beat that you're just yeah, okay, I'm feeling it. So yeah, I really loved your land songs for sure. And now we'll talk about BB's land songs.
All right.
What did you bring for us?
Well, like I said before, it's almost like what you guys did. One of the land songs I kind of had in mind, but a lot of it was kind of pull up something. Oh, see if they had some land in it. So the first song I picked was from Black Sabbath off the Dehumanizer album that came out in 1992. Letters from Earth. This is the album Dio came back. He also brought Vinny Appice. He also brought back Geezer Butler. So it's almost like the return of, Black Sabbath, Dio's Black Sabbath, or Heaven and Hell, whatever you want to call it. But these 4 guys with Tony Iommi making magic with this album. Such a great song. Old Dark Sabbath at its finest. Dio brings his vocals, which are amazing. Iommi's just... His guitar work in this is spot on. Just the whole album, like I said, is very underrated. Check that out if you guys have not, because it almost gets lost in the Black Sabbath catalog. The next song I picked was from the band Firehouse, off the album Hold Your Face, which also came out in 1992, is Life in the Real World. Vocalist CJ Snare's vocals are just so recognizable at this time. Late 80s, early 90s. This is what Firehouse sounded like. These guys, their band harmonies are great. Bill Lavery's guitar work on this whole album is really fantastic. He's another very underrated guitar player from this time that I don't think he gets enough credit for. Next song from Winger, off the album Pull from 1993, No Man's Land. It starts with Kip's scream and a perfect Reb Beach riff, which is really, really good. It's just like Firehouse. These guys have like great band harmonies. The chorus rocks. Reb Beach's solo is like sick for sure. Just another great underrated guitar player. My song number 4 from the band Hardline. Comes off the album Life, released 2019, Handful of Sand. I always love throwing these guys in the list that we make because these guys are just a straight-on rock band. Nothing fancy, nothing, no slashy, crazy guitar riffs and finger tapping. These guys are just out to make kick-ass rock and roll music. And such a great album, that Life album. A lot of different stuff. It goes from heavy stuff to some ballads and a piano work. And for you, Dylan, even on that album, there's a Queen cover of Who Wants to Live Forever.
Oh, wow.
Really?
So I checked that out. That's really, really good cover. Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
They do it justice.
Yeah, that's a very emotional Queen song.
Yeah, so check that out. I want to throw that in there for you because I think you like that. And then my last song from the band Tigers of Pantang, from I think this is off their second album released in 1981, Spellbound, the song Gangland. This song is just a fast, grungy song for 1981. The solos ripping fast. These guys were like the new British. These guys were like right in that middle of British heavy metal back in the late 70s. They almost kind of fall like in the mix of if Saxon and Def Leppard, had a love child. I think Tigers of Pantang fit that perfectly, and just a great rock heavy metal song. This song is. So, Dylan, what you think about the Land songs?
Yes. So I remember. I think you brought in Dehumanizer on a previous episode.
So.
The whole album, and like you opened my eyes to how fantastic that album is. Because it's a later Sabbath album that you don't often hear about. I mean, one of the songs was on the Wayne's World soundtrack, but besides that, you don't really hear too much about it. But this is a really fantastic song. I love how Dio sings the chorus differently each time. He never sings Letters from Earth the same way, and I really love that. It adds a cool level of variety to the song, and of course, just the band. Everyone is so good on this song, and it's mixed really well. I love Tony Iommi's guitars. It's just this is an album I need to re-listen to because it's so good. Life in the Real World, Firehouse. These guys know how to make a good, catchy song. They just know how to make an earworm, and this is one of them. Their vocal harmonies are just spot on. You can't fault them for their singing ability. Even now, they still sound fantastic. Mm-hmm. They have not lost a step. And Life in the Real World, a classic of theirs for sure. Winger, No Man's Land. It's heavy Winger. This isn't your 17 or Headed Heartbreak. This is the heavy Winger that'll kick your ass for making fun of them on Beavis and Butthead. This is good. I love it a lot. Reb Beach is a really underrated guitarist, and this song showcases why he should be rated a little higher on people's lists. Handful of Sand, Hardline. The songs that I've heard from Hardline I really like. I'm gonna have to check out that Queen cover because that's really interesting. This was a really good song. I like that you went the sand route because they're very cool. That is a type of land. Sure.
And I'm sure Steve still brought some home. So.
Yep. And that's a really great song. And then Tigers of Pantang, Gangland. Love this Iron Maiden cover. They tell no tale. No, it's not that. But this is good. I like this as well. I like both songs called Gangland. This is a band that I had never really heard. I'd heard of You always hear Tigers of Pantang. People talk about, oh yeah, we used to tour with them, or yeah, that they're really good. I really like them, but I never really listened to them, and I enjoyed this song, so I think I'm gonna have to dig into them a little more.
Yeah, they were always like the opening band and never the headliner.
Yeah, always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Yeah,
but I this was another great list.
Nice.
I don't think anybody failed on the land side.
That's for sure. What do you say, BC?
Oh, Black Sabbath, Letters from Earth. I mean, this is such an underrated album. The production is the guitar. I mean, he always had a heavy sound, but this album is just, he changed it a few notches in my book. Love this song. Love the whole album. Firehouse. Here's a band that gets cursed by their
Love of a Lifetime.
Love of a Lifetime. Those songs like that. I went to see these guys, and they were playing years ago when they first came out, Harvey's Lake. And when they came out, my mouth hit the ground. I was like, wow, these guys they were like heavy. I'm like, wow, this is nothing like, other hits on the harmonies. The Bill is playing is sick. He's so underrated. Winger with No Man's Land, classic sound. I mean, to me, this is a little bit more like they are live.
Yeah.
This is just like Firehouse. These guys are so much better live, so much heavier. Reb solo in this. Hardline. This came out last year, you said?
Yeah, 2019.
I kept wanting to pick this up. I've always liked Hardline from way back. You go, hot sherry.
Yeah, right.
But their newer stuff, he still has the voice. He still got the pipes.
He still has the pipes, and it's just I think it's a whole different band on that album.
Yeah, I don't think his brother's even in it. But anyways, it's still good, and I gotta definitely check out the Queen cover. The Tigers of Pantang. I mean, like Dylan, I've heard of them. I never heard them until now.
Yeah,
I don't know how that is. I mean, they have a very good sound. I mean, like it has parts of like Maiden in it.
Yeah.
And another good solo in this, but I never heard this song. I never heard the band till now. That's pretty good. I'm going to deep a little bit deeper into those guys. But no, 5 good picks.
Yeah, it's good when the land songs make you want to dig a little deeper into the land.
See, you're digging deeper.
You were doing fantastic with the wordplay.
Yeah, the boat reference before, and you don't even know it. Man,
it's
he brought his A game.
It's effortless when BC when he's on, and he's on tonight.
Man, oh man.
So we're gonna go into our hidden gems, but before we do that, we're gonna transition into it with our gem song. And since we're gonna be talking about the water songs, the sea songs, next part. I decided to pick a song that just missed my list for our gem song from the band Testament, a great thrash band, off of their album The Legacy. This is Raging Waters. Okay, that was Raging Waters by Testament. Great thrash band, still going strong. Chuck Billy, how can you not like Testament? Me and BC love the thrash music. We love getting in the pit.
You're there, right?
What, Testament? Yeah, I saw them.
Downtown.
Yep. Yeah, they opened. I saw them twice actually. I saw them open for Anthrax, and I saw them open for Megadeth, I believe, at the Cultural Center.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in the ballroom. So that was cool. Yeah, and I think they did the whole Legacy album, if I'm not mistaken, that show. But so we heard it live. But let's get into our hidden gems. BC, I picked you right when you were taking a drink. What do you have for your gem today?
Like I said earlier in the episode, I've been fishing around a lot, trying to find something new to catch my ear, my taste buds. And listened to one band, and then I got kicked to like a Facebook page of the former band. It's the new band now is called Creek, with Kreek.
Oh, okay.
With it's a new band fronted by ex-Bigfoot frontman Anthony Ellis, which I was always a big supporter of the band Bigfoot from the UK. Very like good hard rock, and this is pretty much in the same vein, but it has a different flavor to it. I just can't pinpoint it yet. That's why I'm just using the band for right now, and then we'll go deeper into it later on. But the new band is called Creek. This guy is such an excellent vocalist.
Yeah,
and it fits.
Wasn't Bigfoot the band that shouted you out on Facebook Lives?
Yeah, they were doing something. Hey, say hi to BC of the Potter and Hell podcast.
Hi, BC. Yeah, they were great. I mean, he left the band. They got another guy, and then they continued for like maybe not even a year, and then they all went their different ways doing new stuff. And this is the first vocalist. This new band.
Well, hopefully this band pans out a little better.
Good British hard rock.
Nice.
And it fits in because it's a Creek, BC.
Yes.
It's a Creek.
Yeah.
Yet
again, you're
know that.
Man, 3 for 3, BC.
Wow.
You might as well just retire now.
I'm in awe. I'm in awe of you today.
Dropping the can.
BB, what did you have for the gem tip this week?
Well, since your dad was on the boat rocking out to these guys, and these guys kind of have an album that fit and a song that fits. So let's go back to 1994 with Queensryche off the album Promised Land. We can throw the song Promised Land out and make that a gem. The whole album is great, but Promised Land is just a great song. Saw this tour live. We saw it a bunch of times that they were around at this time. But a great album, really good album. They remastered, they extended some stuff, so they put a couple live songs on there at the end. So now it's a 15-song album instead of 12. But really good album. But check out the song Promised Land off the album Promised Land from Queensryche.
Very cool. My gem is also kind of connected to the episode. So back in the 80s, David Lynch made a version of the book Dune, and they asked Toto to do the soundtrack. So there is a Toto album. It's basically instrumental of that's basically the soundtrack to Dune by Toto. Some really cool guitar work from Steve Lukather on there. Very ethereal thing. I think it's one of the best parts of the movie. So if you're looking for a really good soundtrack that's a little hard rock and a little soundtracky, check out Dune from Toto. So those are our gems. We have BC with the band Creek that features Bigfoot's first singer,
Anthony
Ellis. Then we have Promised Land, the song and the album. You could do both from BB by Queensryche. And then I had Toto's Dune soundtrack, which kind of connects with my first pick of the night. Right. So that was our hidden gems. BB, who do you want to go next for to do the first water part of the playlist?
I'll go.
Okay.
I'll go. I'll jump right in, BC.
Jump into the deep end.
Oh, see, there's another one. See?
Yep.
Deep end.
Dive right in.
Oh, see, BC's off the deep end with...
Yeah, I was surprised nobody
with
picked.
Autograph.
Yeah.
Damn it, BC. Oh. All right. So the C part of the show. So once again, like I said earlier, I've been diving into a lot of Dio this week. So, of course, I'm going to start off my C list with Dio off the Lock Up the Wolves album from 1990, Walk on Water. I think we either talked about a couple songs or this whole album at one time, but Rowan Robertson, being 18 years old, just kills it on this song, let alone the whole album. But, of course, you got the iconic Dio's vocals, which are perfect. Simon Redd on drums is really amazing. And the solo is the Sick Banana solo of the night, BC, because Rowan Robertson just kills it on this song. My next song off of the C list is Black Label Society. I had to throw them in somehow. So off the album Shot to Hell that was released in 2006, Blood is Thicker Than Water. Back when BLS was only a three-piece, it was Zach and JD and Craig Newtonbacher, I think, was on drums. There was just the three of them. This is kind of like a mellow Zach until you get to the solo. But a very short song. It's 2 minutes and 59 seconds. So, as Steve likes to say, gets in and kicks ass and gets out. So it's a perfect short song to fit this list. Song number 3 from our buddy Anthony Quarter from Tora Tora off the Surprise Attack album from 1989, Riverside Drive. We've interviewed Anthony a couple of times when we were down at the Rockin' Pot. Such a great guy. Love this song. Love this whole album. Another band that seems like they're always the opener and never the headliner. Another rock and roll right out of the gate. These guys just produce really good rock and roll music. The best part of the song is the bomb goes off the end of the song when he hits the drum at the end. It's just a cool ending. So if you missed that, check that out. Boom. Fantastic ending. Love it. Another song off the C list is from Wasp. Sorry, Dylan. Sorry. From the Babylon album released 2009, Sea of Fire. Blackie Lawless's vocals I just love. Doug Blair's ripping guitar work on this album is really good, and has that galloping drum beat from Mike Duke, I think his name is. But it just fits the song, fits the album cover. The album cover has like guys on horses, so that drum beat really fits both the song and the album really well. And to close out my list, wanted to pick some kind of a live song, and I went with Lynch Mob with the song River of Love. It's off their 2004 album Evil Live. And this is the Lynch Mob version with Robert Mason. I love when he fronts Robert Mason, especially live. And this song feels like it's recorded in maybe like a small venue, and there's like no overdubs. It just seems like somebody just set a recorder, press record, and just let the band go, because this is like the rawest live album I've ever heard, and it just fits this band perfectly. And I love this whole sound of this album, and George Lynch's guitar work is amazing on it. There is my C list, Dylan.
Yes. So Dio, Walk on Water, a great Dio pick. Lock of the Woods is not an album that I'm as familiar with Dio, so this was a really good song for me to hear that I wasn't as familiar with. I wasn't familiar with any of these songs except for the last one, so that was it was fun to listen to like these songs almost for the first time, even though I'm sure I've heard them before.
Right.
In passing. Blood's Thicker Than Water. I'm liking it a lot. I like Black Label Society. I'm listening to it and I'm like, oh, cool. Zach is actually playing a solo that fits the song. And then he starts going off on during the second part of the solo. I'm like, God damn it, Zach, come on, settle down, focus. Every time, I'm like, wow, it actually fits. And then he just goes, God damn it, Zach.
Yeah,
no, but stay on target.
Psych.
It was still a good song though. I just like Zach always has that tendency to like. I'm with the song. I'm with the. I gotta play. And then just like goes off on it. I don't understand why, but good song. Tora Tora, Riverside Drive, another great underrated band. I love this song. This has a really good energy to it. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great pick. And Wasp, Seas of Fire. I like that as well. I did. I don't hate Wasp. I'm not as big of a fan of Blackie's vocals as everybody else is.
Right.
I like the band, and I don't mind his vocals. I'm just not like everybody's like, oh, Blackie's vocals. I love them.
Even on the later stuff?
Yeah, the later stuff's okay. I like his vocals earlier rather than later, actually.
Okay.
I think that's what it is. I don't like his later vocals more. I like his earlier vocals because they sound a little more. I like his vocals on I Want to Be Somebody kind of that kind of rasp to it.
I think this is their second last album.
Yeah. And then River of Love. So this is the song that I had a little issues with, and it was purely because of the production. Because I love the song. I love River of Love. I love the studio version. I love them actually playing it live. I don't like the production of the song. It sounds so and I think you're right. It does sound exactly like somebody just put a recorder in the middle of the stage, hit the button, and then let the band go.
There's 300 people in this little thing, and this is how it sounds.
Yeah.
And that's kind of...
It sounded so empty, and I'm like, I want a little more of that energy from it. It sounded like they turned up the bass a little bit during the solo, just so we could hear. But otherwise, it's just all I could hear is George's guitar, vocals, drums, and then that was all I could hear. And I'm like, it feels like it's a 3-piece playing, and I know there's not. Right. There's more than the 3 of them, but I still like the song. The song itself is great. So just the production was what threw me off on that one. But good list besides that, for sure.
BC.
Alrighty, Dio, Walk on Water. I mean, here's another underrated album. I've always listened to what people don't like albums from the bands. That's some of their best stuff, I think. And this is definitely a standout in the Dio catalog. Classic Dio sound, but the new guitar player, Rowan Robertson. His playing on this is just craziness. I mean, and I remember going back when this first came out. Oh, he's got some 18-year-old kid playing with him. Everyone's like 18-year-old kid. He came out and rips it up on this. Black Label Society, Blood is Thicker Than Water. I mean, I like Zach's vocals on this. I guess it started off a little bit more melodic. I have down here good solo because it's Zach.
Yeah.
I mean, but I love it. Okay. You gotta love it. It's almost like his trademark.
It's a compulsion.
It's almost like his trademark. I gotta do it. Tora Riverside Drive. This is one of my top 5 debut albums. I mean, the vocals, guitars, everything about the song just has a good solo, good rocking song. I mean, these are nice guys. Were you there when we drank with them?
After that at that place.
And they were so nice. We bullshit.
So down to earth.
Over half great guys. Wasp. this is going to be one of my picks, but BB beat me to it.
Yeah.
Sea of Fire. I mean, and again, this is his last few albums have been better and better and better, I think.
And I think there's a song, the closer on that album is Promised Land.
I think it is, yeah.
There you go.
You could have picked that one.
I could have picked that one, damn it. This is good. I love this whole album. I mean, it has such a great feel, and this is one of the bands that are getting better and better, I think, as they go. Hopefully, I mean, he's touring overseas starting next year, and they said in the paragraph that there will be U.S. dates.
Well, okay.
I don't know. Maybe I can go and remember the show this time. I don't know.
At the end of the night, Blackie said thank you to BC for coming tonight.
I like to thank Blackie for being my backing band.
It's really funny that like you have not consciously been able to see Wasp because you Crocodile Rock they canceled.
They canceled.
M3.
And before that,
Yeah.
they were supposed to play as
Yeah.
Scranton.
Then didn't they get kicked off the tour or something?
No.
Or
They were touring with Metallica, Armored Saint, and Wasp.
yeah.
Back in, it would have been their first album or something. It was Wasp's first album. That'd be '84. So that would have been Armored Saint's first one. '84 would have been probably still Kill 'Em All. They were in Scranton. They were playing in West Side Theater.
Mm-hmm.
They were all in Scranton, but apparently all their musical gear was snowed in Buffalo, New York. That would have been the first time seeing them. And
Okay.
then the next time I got to see him, of course, we got down there and show was canceled. And then the third time I got roofied, and I saw videos of the show, but do not have actual recollection of being at the show.
That's usually how Hitchcock movies start. Like
I know. So
you have
I'm
a
kinda
horrible night on. You have like a really raucous night on the town, and then you wake up next to a dead body, and you're like, "Oh shit!"
Where's my kidney? But and then finish off your list with Lynch Mob, River Love. I love anything live. I know. I mean, I liked it. I like the version. I know where he's coming at. Dylan's coming at but I grew up in when we go down and you buy a cassette tape of a band live.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can put it in there.
Yeah, so I'm used
Like
to
a
that.
bootleg,
So a bootleg. So this is like, I loved it.
Brought you back.
Yeah, it brought me back to those days when we went down to Electric Mine Shaft. And
Yeah.
You got bootlegs. And
Yeah,
shit.
that's right.
I work right by the old electric mine shaft.
It's kind of.
Yeah. There's still like an album in the window, which is interesting. You walk by it.
He was there one day and like gone the next.
Yeah.
Because I was going down there. I pretty much had him cleaned out with what I wanted. And I went to go down there again and I was like, God.
God. Bastard.
We'll have to buy the space and reopen it.
Yeah.
Good list though, baby. Good list.
Yeah, very good. Who are you thinking for next, BB?
How about we go BC next?
Okay, BC. What do you got?
Alrighty. Land.
Set sail.
It's on a hit land. Again, like I said, I was surfing around a bunch of stuff. I was listening to this one guy, which is the vocalist of this band, Talisman, with Troubled Water, Jeff Scott solo. I've always been a fan of his vocals since the Yngwie Malmsteen days. Vocally, it sounds great. It has the bassy start, catchy chorus, the background vocals thrown in there. I'm not really, this is probably the only thing on my list I was not familiar with. So I had to throw something that totally unfamiliar with. Next one will be Dream Child, Washed Upon the Shore. I dig this album. I really love this band. I mean, there's reportedly coming out with the second album. I don't know how to explain this song. It sounds like the changes in it and the guitar playing solo in this is phenomenal, I think. And the vocalist, I am drawing a blank on his name right now because it reminds me, he has that Ronnie Dio feel. And some people have bashed him because they're trying to be a rip-off of Ronnie James Dio. But if you listen to this album, it's just such a classic album. The next land one's going to be Y&T. Sail On By. It's off of Endangered Species from 1998. This is a really mellow tune, pretty much. Dave's vocals and then slower tune, but the guitarist on the song such an underrated. He is such an underrated vocalist and underrated guitar player.
Yeah.
So underrated. Great song though. Check it out, people. Then next thing you go be from Saxon from 2004 is Lionheart, Searching for Atlantis. Has a little build-up beginning into it, and then just into a heavy riff song, bass vocals. And this is another one of those bands that I always say that are getting better with age. And it has the killer solo in it, and just typical Saxon sound. Then I'm going to finish off with Candlebox, Riptide, off their new album, Wolves, from 2021. I love this band. I've always loved them since they first came out. I've caught them a few times live up in New Hampshire, and they're all over the place. But vocally, the vocal starts, and, you know, to me, you listen to headphones, the bass line throughout the song. It has some little na na na, so you gotta throw that in there. But overall, I mean, I'm just a Candlebox guy. They're like one of my what's the word I'm looking for?
Love-hate bands.
Guilty pleasure.
Guilty pleasure, I guess you could say it. Right now, you know, people you go look at me going, "Oh, you don't like Candlebox." But I love I've all their albums. I just totally dig the band, and that's my 5 picks for Land.
Very cool. BB, what'd you think of them?
Yeah, a couple very, very deep. A couple of them I never heard of. Talisman. Like, I heard of Jeff Scott Soto. Never heard of this album.
Me neither.
And never heard of this song before either. But it's definitely a toe tapper. It's a rockin' tune. And now that you said Jeff Scott Soto's the vocalist, now I can kind of hear it.
Oh, yeah.
You know. But that was a surprise. Like I said, never heard of those guys before. Dream Child with Washed Upon the Shore. Like you said, very Dio vocal, rainbow music sounding with the heavy guitar, the electric organ. I loved it. But the only problem I had with it, there was only a minute and 2 seconds of vocals.
Yeah, it's more music
For like a 7-minute and 20-second song. He only sings for a minute and 2 seconds. And but the music is amazing. I did. I listened. I'm like,
that was great.
I'm like, there has to be more than just a minute. So I went to the album and started listening to a couple of songs. I'm like, oh, okay. At least it wasn't like big production, little vocals.
After I picked them, I'm going, there's really not too many vocals.
I'm like, whoops. But
the
like you said, musically, it's really, really good. Like I said, it's very like rainbow-ish with the heavy guitar, electric organ. Really cool stuff. Y&T, Sail On By. I love that volume knob that Dave Manichetti starts it with. It's just so cool. And like you said, another great guitar player, underrated vocalist, underrated guitar player. But this band doesn't. Another one of those bands that were hyped up and they just never came out that big. They were big, but they
played it. They're the West Coast, like we said many times. They're the West Coast Kicks.
Yeah,
they
true.
play with everybody, toured over with everybody, but
here.
Never completely crossed over the bridge.
Right.
Yeah.
And almost like Blood is Thicker Than Water, it has like the big solo in it. To like a softer song, it has a really big solo in it, but I really enjoyed it. Saxon with Searching for Atlantis, great chugging opening riff. Then the drums kick in, are so cool. The guitar works great. Biff's big vocals are exactly what you want in a Saxon song. Classic Saxon. Great song. And Candlebox Riptide, I'm like, wow, new album. I'm like, this is definitely not you. Definitely not you. It's kind of like the softer side of Candlebox, where he has that pretty much lot of piano, which I was very, very surprised. and to close off your list, you wanted some na-na-nas for Wrighty, but he'll have to listen to this down the road. But another good list, BC. Deep cuts, needs a little polish there, a little bit in the middle, but then what a good list.
Yeah, I enjoyed a lot of the songs as well. Troubled Water, Talisman, very cool song. I thought that was a really good way to start off your C list. Washed Upon the Shore, Dream Child. I really like the instrumentals in it. I do like the vocals. There were times I felt like they were trying for like a Dream Theater in terms of like the different time signatures.
Yeah,
and I'm like, it felt like they weren't as tight as Dream Theater is.
No.
And it kind of threw me off a bit, but then once I got into the song, I started liking it, especially with the guitar solo. Like, very good guitar work. But like the beginning kind of threw me off because I'm like, it seems like they want to do that prog timing, but they don't quite have it. But I liked it. It was still a good song. Sail On By, Y&T. This was a great, softer song, and the great thing about Y&T is even when they're going a little softer, they'll still bring it with the heavy guitar solo, and they'll get you coming back, even if you're not a fan of ballads. So that's something I always appreciate with them. Searching for Atlantis, this song kicks ass, very heavy, awesome Saxon song. This is a really good song that I forgot about because I do remember it, but this was a really fun song to put on the list, and like talking about Atlantis, like that's such a cool like C thing to put in there. And then Riptide Candlebox. Yeah, I definitely, my instinct was like, okay, you're putting it on here because of the non-ananas. But I'm like, they should have named the song For Dear Life, because they keep saying For Dear Life at the end of the For Dear Life. And I'm like, is the song Riptide or is it For Dear Life? Because you keep like, it's like, na-na-na-na-na, For Dear Life. And I'm like, it kind of, like at the end, it got really repetitive because they just kept going over and over and over. I'm like, come on, guys, we get it, we understand. But besides that, it was a decent song. So yeah, I liked the songs I liked. I really liked from the water part of your playlist.
Candlebox. What the hell?
Yeah, that was an out of left field pick for sure. I forgot that you liked Candlebox, and I'm listening to this. I'm like.
You know who I saw Candlebox with? Tony Belinas.
Really?
Interesting.
We're at Laconia Bike Week.
Oh my gosh.
It was Candlebox and live.
Okay. Lightning strikes.
Lightning.
The placenta falls to the floor.
So see, I did see live, people.
Yeah, he did.
I met live. Kenny Gliero used to work at the Bloomsburg radio station. And back when their first album came out, something with Jules in it, running, I forget what it is. But they were there and they interviewed him, and like they're right from Spring Grove or York down that way.
York, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so they were very college-ish. Their first album was somewhat heavy until they got on the radio.
Yeah. Then they got that very like late 90s.
Yeah, then they
like
turned
alternative kind of, yeah. Okay, so my turn for the C list. Most of these songs I was able to get right away because I'm like, okay, I'm thinking water. I know what I want to go for. The first song I'm talking about, probably the oldest on my list, from Queen, their second album, Queen 2, Seven Seas of Rye. And I say that because there is a version of Seven Seas of Rye on the first album, but it's just an instrumental. And it's kind of like a prototype version of this song, which I like this song because it's very much the Queen, the theatrical Queen that you like, but it also has the heavy guitar solos from Brian May. I love the high vocals on this song. It's very playful, and I love the opening piano, and then the cymbals coming in. It's very much a theatrical Queen song, but it's one that I really like. Then we go to number 2, The Ocean, from Led Zeppelin's Houses of the Holy album. Starts off with the John Bonham, done 4 already, but now we're steady, and then they went 1, 2, 3, 4. And that riff is so good, and the John Bonham's just like drums after it are just, it's so iconic. It's just, and then the singing in the sunshine, the laughing in the rain, like, it's a great song. It's like, it's fun to just, it's a groove, it's a song to just groove to, and I love like the pickup at the end, like where they change the tempo to the do 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 do. It's just a really cool, fun Led Zeppelin song. Used to be my ringtone for a long time. Back when I had a Samsung Slash was the phone. It was like a phone that like slid up.
Oh, okay.
And that was my ringtone for it. So the song holds a special place in my heart. Number 3, this band, everybody's probably sick of me talking about them. Ice Nine Kills, The Silver Scream, Rockin' the Boat. This is a song about the movie Jaws. It has some great references in there. Mostly clean vocals, which that's why I picked it, because it's one of their cleaner vocals on that album. And don't worry, The Silver Scream 2 has a lot more clean vocals for them, so you will enjoy the album, hopefully. But back to this song. You know, there's We'll Need a Bigger Boat reference. I love that they put in the Smile, You Son of a Bitch reference. Like, that's great. It's just, the wordplay of this band is really fantastic. I love the chorus of the clean, like, mixed with the heavy vocals. And then they do the Jaws theme towards the end with the da-na. It's very cool hearing that in the heavy way that they do it. I think it's a real fun way to pay tribute to such a good Steven Spielberg movie. Then we go to number 4 from Alice Cooper's latest album. No, not anymore. His second latest album, because I forgot that he had one that came out. From his album Paranormal, the song Holy Water. This is kind of it's an old school feeling song. It's very like, kind of not jazzy, but like it's got that like kind of big band feel to it a little bit, a little swing to it. That's real fun. And Alice has got his kind of a cool vaudeville voice at times. You know, praise the Lord, and the great guitar solo in there. Just a really cool, fun Alice song that just down to the river. We're talking about a river as well. You got the holy water, and it's just a really fun Alice Cooper song. And then we're ending off with a heavy song, another heavy song from Trivium from the album In Waves. In Waves. I love the intro of this song. Would just go with the and that riff is just so heavy and so cool. And I love the verses, and it's just a really fun heavy song. And this song kicks ass live. Like, everybody was going wild for this song when they played it. It was so cool. Probably my favorite song they played of the night. That just like the crowd was just so into it, and everybody was shouting, why? Just a lot of good memories from that song. So those are my C-list songs. What did you guys think? BC.
Queen. I love the piano, and like you said, this is the more theatrical side. I mean, how can you go wrong? Freddie, you have Brian's playing the harmonies. I mean, you can't go wrong with the Queen song. Led Zeppelin. To me, I mean, this takes me back to high school days. I mean, I was into the Cruise and all the fucking hard rock, and my buddy was a Led Zeppelin head. Mm-hmm. He lived, breathed Led Zeppelin.
You're our Led Zeppelin guy here at the podcast.
So, I know Led Zeppelin just from him playing it all the time.
Right.
This is great. I love the drum. It's so basic, but it just fits so cool, and the guitar, the riff in it. Classic. Ice Nine Kills. Musical, this is good, and the vocals are a little bit more easier than some of the other stuff. And I like the way I love the way they just throw in, like you said, the Jaws theme comes in, and that's cool that a band can do that. Alice Cooper. Playing a song, going, I kept looking to see what album was Kim off of.
Yeah.
I'm going, wow, this sounds like it'd be like from the 70s.
Yeah.
I kept going, I'm like, wow, it's fairly new, and I'm thinking it just has that very old, like, 70s feel.
Yeah.
70s Alice Cooper is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. But, no, that's a good song. And Trivium in Waves. I mean, vocalists, like, this. I've seen these guys, twice, I think.
I think so.
There's parts that remind me, I hear Pantera.
A little bit, yeah.
You know, the one, I know, there's one part of it.
Yeah.
I just hear Pantera. And not saying that badly, but that stuck out in my song, listen to this song. And vocally, I mean, like you said, you can see how this will go over good live, but there's 5 good picks. I mean,
yeah.
It's going to be hard to pick a top 5.
Yeah, with Alice Cooper nowadays, he very much is just is harkening back to his 70s work. Like most of his most recent albums are very much like referencing Welcome to My Nightmare and things like that. So that's kind of where he's at right now. Not doing the 80s stuff that I love. I do love the 70s stuff, but I love the late 80s stuff.
Yeah, as soon as I heard it, I'm like...
Yeah. It's a very old school sounding Alice song, and I do like that, for sure. BB, what did you think of this list?
All right. Queen with 7 Seas of Rye. Love the fast piano and guitar parts in the beginning. Freddie's vocals, of course, are flawless, and Brian May's playing is just impeccable. You know, it's Queen. What more can you say? It's just a great, great Queen song. And a super deep track. The Ocean from Led Zeppelin is another song. Like, if you have not heard, if you don't know this opening riff and this big drums by now, like the other song I said, you're living under a rock.
Yeah.
This is a great Led Zeppelin song. Probably their most popular and their biggest hit for a reason. Song number 3, Rockin' the Boat from Nice Nine Kills. I absolutely love this song.
Really? Wow.
Dylan, this song was amazing. It's a great roller coaster song. Mm-hmm. I love the soft and screaming vocals, and I love the tone of this singer's voice when he goes soft.
Yeah.
And when he goes gruffy, it doesn't bother me.
Wow.
So I was like super surprised. I'm like,
good gruff.
I'm like, I gotta play that
again. Damn.
But love that song. That was my surprise of the night. Holy Water from Alice Cooper. Like Dylan, kind of like you said, I've written down here. It's a fun song. It's Alice Cooper. Everybody knows I'm not the biggest Alice Cooper fan, but it is a fun song, and I can't make fun of it. The horns in it were the great surprise. It brings me back to this 70s Alice, like pretty much everybody said. And then In Waves from Trivium, almost just like Ice Nine's Kill, that has like the softer screaming vocals. The vocalist just didn't click with me. I like that Ice Nine Kills vocalist a little bit more than Trivium. And it's funny, just listen to it, I think the first time around, when they're actually saying in waves in the chorus, I had no clue. I thought it was saying in line. I'm like, oh, it's he's saying in waves. So then I better watch the words as they go by. Oh, okay, now I hear it. But
he's at the grocery store.
What did he say? He's in line. He's in line number 5. What? But very, very impressed.
Wow.
Very impressed with that list. Good job.
I'm very shocked that you like the Ice Nine Kills. Yeah, a little speechless.
I can't wait till the birthday. I want to go home and hurry up and listen to it.
I gotta tell you, I think that the second album is even better than the first one. I love that second album. But anyways, it's not their second album, but the second Silver Scream album.
Oh, right.
So those were our lists, our One If by Land, Two If by Sea lists. Before we get going, let's talk about our favorite and least favorite songs from everybody's list. What did you like? What did you not like from everybody, BC?
From everybody else's list?
Yep.
Let's go up to yours. I mean, Led Zeppelin, love that song. Slash, that was a standout to me. I mean, Tesla, to me, that's such an underrated album. I mean, there's not a bad song on your list.
Wow, thank you.
There really isn't. Usually I have one or two, but...
Yeah.
BB, Black Sabbath, Letters from Earth. I mean, I love that album. It's such a great album. The Hardline stuck out. I mean, he still got the pipes. Dio, Walk on Water, and of course, Tora Tora. Again, there's not a bad thing on your list neither. And the first time I ever hearing that Tigers of Pantane, that was pretty good. I mean, I don't think between you guys there was a bad song.
Wow.
Now I feel like I can't pick a bad song.
I liked all your songs
Your
too.
songs were great. You guys are awesome.
If I had to pick out a bad song, I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
If you can't, you can't. That's fine. We're really good at making lists.
I could throw one over for Steve on Disturbance.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah.
No, I'll be honest with you. There's no song I listen to going, oh man, why do you pick this?
Yeah.
And he usually don't has one because he has the
because I have the different stuff.
The different stuff. But no, I mean, even the Ice Nine Kills and Trivium, I'm very familiar with Trivium. But no, there's nothing I can say. Like, yeah, that was hard to listen to. The Mastodon, I thought that was going to be, but I was very surprised because the last time I heard him was more like,
yeah, a little more.
And this was more, I'm like, wow, this is not what I. You know, when you're like, okay, and you're waiting for it, and you're like,
yeah. It's more similar to the Sword kind of vocals a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's bad songs.
Yeah. Okay, cool. BB, do you have what do you have for your favorites and least favorites?
Well, of course, like I already said before, "Rockin' the Boat" by Ice Nine Kills is definitely my favorite on the list. Couple
Shocker of the Night.
I'm very shocked. I'm still.
Dylan's over there going, I still can't believe it.
A couple honorable mentions. Of course, I'm going to throw Slash's Snake Pit in there because that's just a great song, and then even the Tesla song, from Bust a Nut, like we kind of all said, that's just a great underrated Tesla album.
Yeah.
Maybe the only one I would say is bad would be the Alice Cooper, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I get you.
It was tolerable.
Yeah.
for my Alice, my taste in Alice, but it was a great list, a very, very, very amazing list.
Thank you. How about BC's?
Oh, he made a list? Oh. Honestly, let's see if there's any good songs on BC's list. No, the Twister. See, I almost did it again. Why the fuck do I have Twister on my mind? I love that band Twister.
They had a movie out.
Yeah. Man, oh man. But Trickster with Blood Rock. That's just a great, great song. A couple of the other honorable mentions. Of course, the Saxon one, Searching for Atlantis, is great. And probably another one that I really, really enjoyed was the Bonfire, Gloryland. And if I had to pick the worst one on your list, it would probably have to be Riptide by Candlebox.
Okay. Okay.
That's only because it's the last song on the list, and that was the first thing that came to my eyesight. No. Yeah. It was all right. It's like it's not the Candlebox I'm used to, and I think probably the only one I've album of Candlebox. I probably listened front to back as their first one. So I'm not very familiar with the rest of their stuff.
I just went to Ocean City on the bike, and I threw the first Candlebox album. I was screaming with the lyrics and driving off the road. I forgot how great that.
Yeah, this was definitely not the Candlebox that I liked.
They have tons of albums. I don't know how close you follow.
I'll do my homework.
Under the Sun. Go check out that album.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will do my homework.
Those were good picks. My picks for tops and bottoms. For BB, Letters from Earth is absolutely a fantastic song. Love that for sure. Great album. Yeah, I have no negatives from that album that I really like. No Man's Land was another great pick, I thought. I really did like Riverside Drive. If I had to pick a negative song, it would, and just for the production, I'd go River of Love. I love the song though, and I love Lynch Mob. But if I had to pick one, that'd probably be what it was. For BC, the positives, I really love Solid Ground by Tom Kiefer. That was fantastic. I thought that World on Fire from The Treatment was also really great. I love that. Searching for Atlantis is probably my top from you. Fucking heavy. Great Saxon song. And then again, if I had to pick a negative, I think I'd agree with BB. It'd be Riptide by Candlebox, purely because it got very repetitive towards the end. They just kept going with the na na nas, and then the For Dear Life, For Dear Life. And, I'm like, okay, I get it. But the song is good. It just got repetitive towards the end.
You lost it at the end.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I'll call him tomorrow. You got to reissue that.
Reissue that.
Go back and cut the last part out. No more. No.
Well, that's like when Rob Zombie re-released the Hellbilly Deluxe 2. On the last song, in the original version, he had a drum solo in it, and then in the deluxe edition, they cut the drum solo out of the song. Like, it ended with the drum solo, and I'm like, what? Who the fuck ends an album with a drum solo? What kind of sick mind
Rob Zombie
would? Yeah, and it's Rob Zombie. But that was our episode. 1 If by Land, 2 If by Sea. If you haven't heard of any of these songs, you can listen to them on the Spotify playlist of the week. It will be in the show notes, and you can listen to every single song and let us know how we did. If you have any songs that you think could have been on the playlist, let us know, because we were struggling with some of the Land ones, so it would have been nice to have your picks. But before we head out, let's just go around the table and say our goodbyes. BC, what do you have to say?
Hey, thanks for everybody out there tuning in. I mean, this was fun and different. We just threw it together. I mean, there was no really hard plans for this.
Nope.
We just, in a group text, said, hey, let's do this. I'm like, okay. And the sea went by quick, and the land was, I was like, oh shit. And then I text Dylan one night, I'm like, can we use World? He's like, yeah, I'll let that go. I'm like, okay, thank you. So, I mean, it was a lot of fun, as always. I mean, but cool. Check us out everywhere you can out there.
Nice.
Check out the Spotify list. This is some pretty mates.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dylan said he's going to put the Candlebox song last. So in case you get to that song.
It's already last.
It is last on there.
It was already last. That's your fault for having it be the last song you mentioned.
I know, right?
BB, what do you have to say?
This is great. I kind of love when the cat's away, the mice will play. This is a really great topic. Dylan comes up with amazing shit. I don't know how his brain works, but
I don't think
he comes up with some good shit.
I don't think we had anything acoustic, did we?
Some parts of songs,
parts maybe,
but a little bit of the Y&T maybe there.
But then the electric would kick in.
Yeah. But this is a great topic. Love doing a little bit of homework. Instead of just listening to an album and reviewing all 10 songs of the album. I love when you have to kind of go off different avenues and find some shit.
Yeah.
And like I said, Dylan, you are definitely the brains of this operation between coming up with this and doing all that stuff you do. So kudos to you, my little buddy.
Thank you. And you'll get to hear a lot more of my brains in working later on in the month for my birthday episode. So look forward to that, listeners. I got some great albums coming up. A couple albums to also torture my dad with, but some albums that I think are really great that I think some people might like, especially given what we heard tonight about one of the songs that I'm still shocked that you like that, but I'm glad that you liked it.
Yeah.
But I hope everybody enjoyed this episode. Give us a like on Facebook, share us to all your friends, listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. We're on Amazon Music as well. You could listen to us there, leave us a 5-star review. That always helps us get seen, and it helps us get connected with other podcasts. And there's some really great episodes coming up. We have some great artist spotlights. We're going to have our end of the year stuff coming up real soon. We're doing 2 parts of that. That's going to be really fun. But we're going to have a great time. So hopefully you guys will tune in for those and take care of yourselves and each other. We will see you next time, and there definitely will be a next time.